Long way we've come with the podcasting crowd, I think. Thank you, every one of you, for coming out tonight. We are really, really excited. And Cliff and Megan, you guys have done an amazing job. Thank you. We're honored to host the Podcasting Awards here at New Media Expo, and we hope next year it'll be twice as big. And Todd, you stuck this out for 8 years now.
Yeah.
Taking a lot of arrows, a lot of people giving you a lot of shit, which you don't deserve. And you've done this making no money, doing this out of the goodness of your heart and for the industry. And everybody, please give Todd a very, very well-deserved welcome. That's it for me. I just wanted to say thank you to all of you. Thank you to all the podcasters. Thank you to all the nominees and the eventual winners. I'm going to turn this over to Cliff.
Guys, I want to just say right now, as far as I'm concerned, I am living a dream. And the dream is the fact that this community has come together and embraced New Media Expo as the home for our community once again. Rick came to me, I think it was March or April of this year, and says, Cliff, we've purchased the rights of the New Media Expo, the old Podcast Expo. We really have tried over the years. And I want to say, there have been a lot of people who have given me a great deal of credit for being able to bring people on board and to make things happen, to try to, quote-unquote, get Rick and the team to understand. And I want to tell you that Rick and the team understood what needed to happen. They understood what they had done wrong in the past as far as failing to reach out and to understand the podcasting community. And so I want to say that it's actually been people like Todd and folks over at Libsyn and so many of you podcasters who have communicated how you have experienced the podcasting tracks or digital media broadcasting tracks or whatever else they've tried to do in the past. You guys have communicated to the team. They had already made the decision, and they said, we need somebody who can come and be a voice of what we're willing to do. And when Rick came to me and says, gosh, we're so committed to this that we are even willing to change the name of an established conference such as Blog World and actually call ourselves New Media Expo, it convinced me that they were taking this seriously. And so I was just thrilled to have the opportunity. And I just want to say this, Rick and the team, and I say Rick because I mostly work with Rick, but it's everybody at New Media Expo. This entire staff is amazing. But they really gave me the ability to say, Cliff, what do you think it's going to take? What do we need to do? And these guys have bent over backwards. And so I just want to say thank you to the New Media Expo staff and team. Just everybody, if you would just give them a round of applause. Also, I want to say a very big thank you to Todd Cochran. I mean, the fact that we could actually, obviously, look at this room. This is amazing. The Podcast Awards, the 8th Annual Podcast Awards, this is something that has not gone away. And we've already mentioned that before, but the fact that Todd agreed to come and bring it to New Media Expo and to host it here with us, that's a big thing that helps it make it possible for all of us as podcasters to have a home. You know, it communicates to the podcasting community that now there is this one conference that has one event every year you can come to, and this is the place where podcasters will congregate. And I love that. So thank you very much, Todd. And of course, I want to now welcome Leo LaPorte to come up to the stage. And I can tell you right now, I don't think there's another person in here is a bigger Leo LaPorte fan than I am. But I tell you also, he was my inspiration for getting into podcasting. I know he has been an inspiration for so many of you and the folks out there watching on Ustream and also on the twit.tv network. Man, what an honor and a privilege it has been to have him come and have a full keynote here in front of this conference to share the things that he has. And I'm excited to have him to MC the 8th Annual Podcast Awards. Leo LaPorte.
You must be so sick of me by now. I'm back, baby. So I bet you everybody in this room is nominated for an award, right? Who isn't nominated? Oh, wow. Wow, I'm so sorry. I made him a deal. I said, I will do these awards, but only if I don't get nominated. And they didn't. Damn it. I won Podcast of the Year Award, the very first podcast awards, and I got a nice microphone, which I had discussed. I mean, I'd never used a Bob Heil PR40 before, and it changed my world, so I owe you big time. And I really want to underscore what Cliff just said and Rich just said. You've been keeping this alive, Todd. Even when it was just you sitting in that armchair in Hawaii all by yourself and nobody was watching, you gave out those awards every year, year after year. And I'm glad you did keep it alive, because look at this. This is great. Yeah, and the truth is, I'm not crazy about the idea of awards, because, we're all winners, aren't we? We all deserve a trophy. Yeah, because putting up with this crap is... Podcasting's a bitch, and it's really, anybody who does it for any length of time, more than like 3 or 4 episodes, you should just get an award just because you did. But the other thing is that this is how people discover podcasts, and it actually turns out to be really important, because each year people look at who won a podcast award, who was nominated for a podcast award, and that's a way people can find shows. And I think that's probably our biggest issue with podcasting, is there's a goddamn 250,000 of us, and people need to find more shows. So for those of us who weren't nominated, well, we just have to wait till next year. But for those of you who were, congratulations. And I'm sure you'll agree with me, it's an honor just to be nominated. I see Brian Ibbotson here from Coverville. It's kind of fun to see. What's cool about this is we're now 7 years old. Podcasting's been around, and it's kind of cool that it's like you're starting to look old finally, right? We've kind of been around for a while, and there's a little history, and you can go and you can say, whatever happened to Dawn and Drew? I mean, where are they now? And so there's a certain amount of history. And then for those of you who are new, we welcome you to this fraternity of podcasting. So much more than just sitting in your basement making a show. Well, not really. For Brian, it's exactly what it is. Sitting in his basement, making a show. Are you the longest running podcaster here? When did you start Coverville?
September 2004.
That makes you pretty much a pioneer.
In the first, certainly in the first.
Mine was October 2004, so you beat me. Is there anybody who's been doing a podcast longer? I don't think so, not in this room.
You have to found RSS.
Yes, you do. Scott Johnson, you were putting audio on the internet before then?
1999.
Yeah, well, so was Thomas Edison. That doesn't prove anything. You got to put it on an RSS feed before you were a podcaster, baby. I think if Adam Curry were here, he'd beat you, but that's about it.
I think Rob Greenlee did.
Rob Greenlee was doing a podcast?
From Microsoft.
Rob's here. I was talking to him earlier. Rob, are you here? When did you do a podcast?
September 15th, 2004.
What was the day and date of your first Coverville? Rob said September 15th. Brian Ibbotson said September 28th. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner. Rob Greenlee, an official podcast pioneer. And for those of you who don't know, he's now working for Microsoft, so you can see where that can end up. Actually, Rob is somebody who should get acknowledged for what he does for us podcasters, because he puts podcasts in the Zune directory, in the Zune marketplace. He's now working, can I say this, with Xbox, and we're starting it. These platforms are very important because unfortunately, well, I love Apple. Is anybody from Apple here?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice to meet you. So moving along. When iTunes came out and started doing podcasting, I said, this is the best thing that's ever happened to podcasting and the worst thing that's ever happened to podcasting. And we're still, unfortunately, so dependent on iTunes. So I'm grateful to Microsoft for, if you get, has anybody bought one Windows 8? No. But if you do, there's a great podcast app on there. And frankly, who was it works for Apple? Can you work on that podcast app? Because that thing is junky. That is is it not the worst? They did some cool things. The tape reels go around and around and around, but that's it. It feels like Apple is, Steve Jobs thought podcasting was stupid. I remember him saying podcasting is really stupid. And yet he'd go up on the keynotes and you'd see podcasts up there. And I think Coverable was up there, wasn't it? And it was like, wow, that's awesome. And so it was always this love-hate thing. I think Steve thought, this is kind of, I'll never forget Steve demonstrating, it was some event. He was on stage demonstrating podcasts, and he stupidly put up the daily source code, Adam Curry's daily source code. And I think Bill Gates, it was with Bill Gates. And all of a sudden you hear, with $5,000 worth, what was it, $5 million worth of airplanes strapped to my butt. And Steve Jobs, this is on YouTube. I'm not making it up unless I had a bad dream last night. No, it's on YouTube and you should see it. It's really good. All right, I'm not going to keep you waiting anymore because I know it's anxious. I've won awards, so I know it's anxious to be. Really? Once. So I know it's anxious sitting in the audience, and then you get this guy who just stalls and stalls. So we'll start to. We got a lot of categories. So Megan has the envelopes, right? Oh, wait a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bring to the stage the most important person in this room, Mr. Todd Cochran. It says right here, Todd talks about the awards.
2004.
Close.
Yeah.
You're third.
833 episodes. Yeah. Hey, first of all, thanks for everyone coming. The Podcast Awards actually started at New Media Expo. We gave the first 2 or 3 years when we were in West Salinas or wherever we were at, Ontario. Yeah, and we had some great crowds. This is fantastic. I'm really pleased.
Isn't this?
Yeah, it's fantastic. And again, hats off to Cliff for putting the tracks together. I told Cliff when he took this job, I said, everyone's going to have an agenda. Do your agenda. And I think he's done a good job with the tracks, and thanks, Cliff, for that. So I really what I want to do today is the awards and the trophies that you can't see yet because they are engraved already are not possible without the sponsors and the folks that are supporting us. And I want to start off, of course, by initially thanking New Media Expo for their support and bringing us the awards back to the show. But and that's really important. And I also want to thank the 48 listeners that went through, oh my God, what do we have, 3,000 shows nominated. It was millions of nominations, and they whittled it down to 220 shows. Each category really took about 8 hours to review. And we had
Computers now that can do that.
Okay, well, I'm not rich. Okay, all right. They do the site grading and all that stuff. It's an imperfect process, but really what it is 4 people got to look at each category, and we use an auditing firm to come up with the top 10. And really, it's not a perfect process, but we like the way it is. And if you don't like it, start your own awards. That's what I say. So again, corporate sponsors. Again, hey, Cliff stepped up with cash this year.
What's that?
So that's big. So if you need podcast consulting, podcastanswerman.com is where you need to go. Check Cliff's site out. Thanks, Cliff, for being there with the cash here. That's something, right? And also a brand new podcast. They weren't even eligible to be nominated. They're less than a year old, Entrepreneur on Fire. So again, 2 podcasters that stepped forward with a considerable amount of money to help this, help pay for the trophies. These trophies, by the way, are made by the same company that makes the Country Music Award bullets. They're not as fancy, but it's the same company. So, those aren't cheap. And then we have some podcast sponsors as well, and Comedy Forecast, The Other Side of Live, Podcast Pokemon, my show. I even throw cash in myself. Become a Blogger. This is a blogging company that wanted some exposure. Your Boss Blows, Make Money. Day in Tech History, Livelihood Show, How to Program Java, the Mouse Chat and Net podcast, New Wax podcast, and the Business Project podcast. And I'll have to say, I apologize to one of our prize sponsors because I forgot the slide. But I want to give a big thank you to musicradiocreative.com for coming out and giving some prizes. We'll be giving some discs away. So check their site out. Again, musicradiocreative.com. All these sites are on the Podcast Awards sites. Go on this website, click on them once, go listen to their show at least one time along with the nominees as well. I don't know if I'm going to get into something I shouldn't by clicking this next button or not. So here's the facts. This is what we saw this year. 36 million page views in 6 weeks. This is incredible. The server, we have to put dry ice on it to cool it off. It gets pretty crazy. We had 9,121,000 total show nominations. That means 9 million people came and nominated. We had 5,000 plus shows nominated. So, that shows you we had some big reach and a number of shows. And again, at the end, 10 million ballots, over 10.7 million ballots were placed for those 220 shows. And pretty proud of that number. It grows every year. And this is the 8th annual, and hopefully, if everything goes well, it'll be the 9th. Oh, almost showed the winner. So I think what we're going to do, we'll back up, and we'll let Leo come up here again. Again, I want to thank all of you for coming out. Thanks for taking time out of your dinner schedule, because I know the event's been over since 5. But Leo, thanks for pulling the crowd tonight. And enjoy. And those of you that win, congratulations.
I need everything.
All right. So so you'll do the clicker, right?
I'll do the clicker.
You have vast experience in that. And Megan will give me the winner envelopes. So everybody, good luck. And we're going to start. You start with the big name right at the top. This is like the Academy Awards.
We start with the small name. Well, we start with
Best video podcast. That's a big category. How do you decide what order you do these in? Is it science? Alphabetical. Okay. He's right. I'm not kidding. It is alphabetical. All right. So the nominees are Bleeding Edge TV, Geek Beat TV, NASA Edge, Scam School, Tech Chop, TED Talks. This is a good category. The iPad Show, The Totally Rad Show, The Vergecast, The Young Turks, and do you have a name for this? You call them a potty? They are, aren't they? Yes. The People's Choice Podcast Award goes to The Young Turks. Wow. Congratulations. Is there anybody here from The Young Turks? Awesome. Come on up.
You can say hi.
I didn't expect to win because just to be nominated is an honor, and I didn't prepare a speech. So thanks for everyone who invited me and voted for the Young Turks. For those who don't know, we do a daily 2-hour video podcast where we talk about news and politics. We come at it from a very independent view. We're not partisan, Republican or Democrat. We try to get the facts the best we know how to do it, and thank you for your support.
That's awesome.
Career Tools, Freakonomics, Livelihood Show, Manager. You can go ahead and cheer for yourself. It's okay. Manager Tools, Smart Passive Income Podcast, SPIP. The Dave Ramsey Show, The Disciplined Investor, The Engaging Brand, The Townstone Financial Show, and the Wall Street Journal this morning. One thing I got to observe, you're getting big names in here. These are big names. And the Podcast Award, People's Choice Podcast Award, goes to Business Manager Tools. Congratulations. Come on up. Nice, you got these engraved ahead of time this time. That's good.
Hi, I'm Wendy. I'm part of the Manager Tools team. Thank you. Mark, Mike, Maggie, Tracy, Mattel, Kate, and Liza are all at home making management and careers better. So I'm accepting the award on their behalf. Thank you, Todd, for running the awards and giving our listeners a chance to say how we've helped them. And our greatest thanks goes to our listeners. It's a privilege to serve them. It's a joy to work for them every day, and we're delighted with their support. So thank you to each and every one of them.
It's really worth it. Comedy. And our nominees are Beauty and the Beast, Yeah. Is that the Beast there? Citizen Radio, Comedy, Bang Bang. Yeah. File Under Horrible, The Footcast. Metro Buzz, My Brother, and Me, The Green Light Show, The Ramen Noodle, Walking the Room, and WTF with Mark Maron. Some great shows. And the winner, WTF with Mark Maron. Yeah, congratulations. Is Mark here? Well, I'll just take this for him. That's fine. Nice prize. Here, I guess you better take that. Yeah. Those are all great shows, and I think it's important that you kind of make notes of all this and write these down so you can subscribe. And a reminder, it's always best to subscribe. You can sample, but it's best if you subscribe. Our next category, culture and arts, and our nominees are Awakenings, Geek in the City, Old Time Radio Westerns, Opera Now, Sword and Laser. Yeah. He got a tweet from Veronica. The China History Podcast, the History of World War II Podcast, The Moth, the Open Book Audio Podcast, and Theater Geeks. And the winner of the 2012 People's Choice Podcast Awards is The Moth. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Dan Kennedy from The Moth, and thanks very much for this. I didn't plan on coming up here tonight to accept anything, so luckily I just happened to write down the list of everyone that's important to me whenever I travel. Sort of an OCD thing. I'll often just say, well, what city am I in? Let's write down the list. And then I'll say, why not put my glasses in my pocket? So, you know, being part of The Moth is kind of like being part of a group that is huge and has 1 million members. And I want to thank every one of them tonight, so it's going to take a while. Obviously, I can't thank all of them. I want to thank our founder, George Dawes Green. He started this thing in St. Simon's Island, Georgia, a long time ago, and then he moved up to New York. He started trying to do it in his living room, and he realized there were far too many people to fit inside of his living room. And I joined those guys for a night, and 13 or 14 years later, it's pretty weird that if I'm halfway around the world, somebody says, I listen to the podcast. It's been explained to me that the internet reaches all the way around the world. That's why that happens. I want to thank Joan Firestone, our executive director, Catherine Burns, our artistic director, everyone at The Moth in New York, and also Paul Ruwest and Argo Studios for producing it. But mostly thanks everybody who shares a story with us, because we'd be nothing without that. And God, this is like the most shut-ins I've ever seen in my life. Isn't it weird to be out of our apartments? Like, it's crazy. It's like a support group of sorts. I want to thank New Media Expo for the recognition. This means a lot to us. Thanks a lot, everybody.
Is education, and the nominees are Caustic Soda. Yeah. Day in Tech History. Ending Human Trafficking Podcast. Let's hear for that one. Glamour Girl, Gunfighter Cast, Hardcore History, Smart People Podcast. This is a way too abstruse category for me. Much too smart. The British History Podcast. Oh, good. The History Chicks. And the Newbie Writers Podcast. The People's Choice Podcast Award goes to Grammar Girl. For many years, a hit. Grammar Girl is not here. Okay, take this back. For whom, without whom, this podcast award would not be possible. I think I said that right. And next category is entertainment. And our nominees are Authentic Life Radio. Yes! Is that Cliff?
That's my live show.
Oh, okay. Hollywood Babble On NSFW, I've heard of that one. Did Veronica tweet you again? No. Okay. Once podcast, RBR Weekly Wrestling Talk. That one I gotta listen to. Rob has a podcast. The Fringe Podcast, The Josie Show, The Matthew Aaron Show, or the unofficial One Piece Podcast. And the People's Choice Podcast Award goes to Rob Has a Podcast. Rob survived reality TV, and now he's got something to celebrate.
Oh my God, I'm going to be a little excited. Wow, I can't believe that this actually happened. I'm going to talk very, very fast. Thank you so much to all of the audience and the listeners. The 3 years of doing Rob as a Podcast, we've had such great support from our audience and our listeners and our community and our interns and everybody over there at Rob as a Podcast. Thanks so much. Everybody that I met, Daryl Darnell had me on a panel at the last Blog World, and I feel like I've learned so much in the last 6 months from people like Cliff Ravenscraft and Pat Flynn and all those guys. It's really been such a learning process over these last couple of months. Thanks so much to my amazing wife, Nicole, who's here, who said I told people if I won the podcast award, I was going to shave my head, and she said she was going to divorce me. So please, honey, don't divorce me. Please, please, please. And I just want to thank my dad, who passed away very suddenly a year ago. But I feel very much like he's with me. I've been on a very amazing run these last couple of weeks. I even won my fantasy league this year. Shout out Matthew Berry. And thanks so much to everybody. And this is amazing. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
That's fantastic. Our next category is food and drink. Yes, we're only on the F's, ladies and gentlemen. Alcohollywood, Basic Brewing Radio, Dining with Doug and Karen, Mike and Tom Eat Snacks. You just want to listen to that. Huh? Mommy's Cocktail Hour, right on. Should I drink that? Spilled Milk, The Beerists, The Splendid Table, and The Sporkful. Creativity reigns in titles. And the winner of is that one. The Beerists. I'm amazed you can walk up here. That's great.
So am I. Here you go. Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations.
I'm so glad I put pants on for this. Me and Anastasia, she didn't want to get up. I don't know if she can walk right now. But and Grant and my other buddy Mike Lambert got together and started a little beer show because we drank a lot and we figured, let's record it. You know, things get really weird after about the third or fourth 15% beer, and somehow we're here. I don't remember the plane flight here. You want to say anything? I just want to thank everybody for voting for us. Whatever.
Yeah, just all the listeners and NMX. Thank you very much for even having this for us. We really appreciate it. Thanks.
Let's see how many of the winners are here too. I think that's fantastic. Nominees. Yeah, this is a hotly contested one. Bad Dice Podcast. Gamer Tag Radio, Giant Bombcast, Minecraft Me, Orange Lounge Radio, Rebel FM, The Geek Box, The Independent Characters, and The Indoor Kids. Oh, okay, the Rooster Teeth Podcast also. And the winner is the Rooster Teeth Podcast. Those were, Todd's telling me, within 3% of each other. That's all of them. So that you're all winners, except he gets the award.
Except I'm the real winner. Thank you to everyone at Rooster Teeth. We have a huge staff that works on putting the show together, and it's much appreciated. I know they're watching right now. So Thank you.
BT. Oh, sorry, skipped ahead. Well, this is also for gay, lesbians, and bisexuals and transgenders. The general category. I guess this is, you couldn't figure out what the hell to do with these guys. DH Unplugged, Greetings from Nowhere, the Internet Box Podcast. The Internet doesn't come in the box, I believe. The Nightlock Podcast, Philosophy in Action, Rebellion Radio, Secretly Timid. Not, apparently not. The Conversation Hub, The Higher Side Chats, and The Other Side of Live. Is that right? Live. One or the other. 50-50, baby. And the 2012 People's Choice Podcast Award goes to the Internet Box Podcast. 2 in a row.
To mine, so I know Michael and Lindsay, you're watching at home. I promise I will not get this back to you. I'm keeping this one. But thank you on behalf of Internet Box.
Yeah, we want to say hi to everybody there. I don't know, is anybody seeing what the number count is watching on Ustream? I bet it's pretty. How many? No? You're just talking out loud?
Close to 600 in your chat room.
Pardon me?
Close to 600 in your chat room.
600 are watching on chat. That's great. It's good to have you all. Our next category is GLBT, and the nominees are, oh boy. Might be a good time to put the kids to bed. Bend over and take it. Cocktails and cream puffs. Feast of Fun. Foul Monkeys. Gay Sunday Brunch. Homo Ground. Ramble Redhead. Screen Queens. The Queen City Experience, and Throwing Shade. And the winner is Throwing Shade. Anybody here from Throwing Shade? What? Nope. Moving on. Fitness. It's one you can tell I live by. Get Fit Guy. Half Size Me. Iron Radio. Jillian Michaels. Oh, God, I want to meet her. Nutrition Diva. Nutrition Diva. Recovered, the #1 recovery podcast. Superhuman Radio. The Marathon Show. The Mental Illness Happy Hour. I love that one. And the Paleo Solution. And the podcast award goes to the Mental Illness Happy Hour. I want to meet these guys. Drop the bottom. Congratulations.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peterson. I'm here to accept the award on behalf of Paul. He's helping to destigmatize mental illness, and he brings a very funny element to his show. He's a comedian, so he thanks you.
Moving on to health. Oh no, we just did that. So now I think it's time for mature. Didn't we already do this one? Between the Sheets. The nominees for the podcast award are Between the Sheets, Life on the Swing Set, Paging Dr. Nerdlove, the PNS Explosion, or is it the PN... 6. Oh dear. Savage Love. Just got it. Did you get it right away? Days ago. Sex Nerd Sandra. Oh, she's here. How exciting for me. The Adam Carolla Show, The Naughty Show, The Stewart, do you want to pronounce this one? Badass Show? Badasso? Badasso? Badasso Show. Yeah, thank you. Did you get that one days ago as well?
No.
And Vent Chat.
I still have it.
You still working on the PNS explosion? I don't know if I want to open this. Oh, and the winner is Savage Love. And Savage is not here, I guess, but we'll save the award for him. Move on to movies. And the nominees for the People's Choice Podcast Award for Movies and Films, Seventh Row Center.
Yeah!
Yeah! Hey, you're sitting in the seventh row center. I get it. Go back one, Todd. It's kind of appropriate to be a spoiler in the movies podcast. You didn't see that. Doug Love's movie, Film Sack. It's got a little bittersweet now, isn't it? There's still a chance. It could have been that was a complete, red herring. How did this get made? Is it a bicycle? Spill, Star Wars in character, The Hollywood Outsider. Yeah. We hate movies, and yes, it's that bad. And now, the winner is Spill. Congratulations. Wow. Well, this is yours.
Well, thank you. I really didn't see that coming. Seriously, the trip to...
I just want to thank you for not leaping up when that slide came up. You showed some restraint.
Well, my friend was holding my shirt, and I was The trip to Vegas was good enough for a prize, so I'll take this anyway. In fact, I'm drunk right now. I haven't slept in 2 days, so... And the hooker is still in the bed right now, so... But thank you. Thank you very much. This is our second award right here, and it's just really nice to be recognized for something that we do. We just assume that nobody's listening, so this is confirmation at least 2 people are. So I really appreciate that. This is the 3rd award that has been received from people in Austin, Rooster Teeth and the Beers. Yeah. So we got this rigged. So thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
In the pod safe category, this is music that is safe for your pod. The nominees are Americana Rock Mix, Beat Feed, Coverville, Freight Train Boogie, Irish and Celtic Music Podcast, The James Van Ostall Show, Livewire Podcast Radio, Rundgren Radio, The Americana Music Show, and the Captain Sib Show, and the winner is Coverville. Come on, see, it pays to be number 2.
That's right, exactly.
Yeah.
I told my wife I'd shave my head too if I wanted. No, I didn't expect to win, so I didn't write anything here. No, I'm just kidding. No, I actually started noticing that people were having speeches coming up and saying a few things when they won, so I did what any sane, rational person would do. I played Angry Birds until my category came up, and then I Googled speeches, Google famous acceptance speeches. So I'm going to use one of those if I could. So, this moment is so much bigger than me. This moment kicks open the door for African American women. You like me. You really... no, that's overdone. All right. We are against this war, Mr. Bush. Shame on you, Mr. Bush. We are against... no, that's not good either. All right, well, thank you. Big thanks to the listeners, people who voted. Big thanks to the independent musicians for giving me the music to play on the show. Without them, there would be no show. Without any of that. But most importantly, thank you to my wife, Tina. You can applaud Tina. Yeah. She keeps the dogs, the kids, and the drunks out of the basement while I record. So, and I think we can all appreciate that.
Really nice on the shelf.
We're about to find out.
No, that's great. How many do you have of those?
Awards?
Yeah, 2. Good.
But I've won 3 times. There was a year there weren't awards.
There was no money.
Wow. You really did keep this alive, didn't you? Good going. All right, in our politics category, the nominees for the 2012... Is this a 2012 or... No. That's actually not what happened. Is this 2012 or 2013? I mean, I know what year it is. But are these the 2012 awards or the 2013 awards? These are 2012 awards, all right. The nominees are Common Sense with Dan Carlin, Electric Politics, No Agenda, Slate Political Gabfest, yeah, The Best of the Left, The Bugle, The Majority Report, The Morning Stream, yeah, I gotta pee right now, actually. The Rachel, it's a suggestion. The Rachel Maddow Show, and This Is Hell, and the winner, I should look in the envelope, is The Majority Report with Sam Sater.
As you can tell, I'm not that sexy guy over there on that slide. My name's Matt Binder. I'm the producer and show regular on The Majority Report. And just like to thank our listeners, the members of the show. We're a member-supported show. Thank you for being members. Thank you to all the people who... hold on one second, actually. Sam is actually text messaging me what to say right now. Hold on. Let's see. Well, he saw the slide, actually, when it changed, and I got a text that went, yes! Thanks to our guests who come on the show. We've had guests like Chris Hayes, Sarah Silverman, Matt Taibbi, Senator Al Franken. Yeah, thank you. And thank you. This is personally from me. Thank you very much to very special Mitt Romney for making this a very fun year.
Nominees are, careful with that button. A Survival Guide for Christian Men, Ardent Atheist. That's going to strike you down. I'm just kidding. The Cognitive Dissonance, Encouraging Others Through Christ. Yes! You guys can fight it out right now if you want. Mars Hill Church Sermons, More Than One Lesson, Mormon Faircast, Reasonable Doubts, Strangers and Aliens, and the Sci-Fi Christian. And the winner is Ardent Atheist. Yeah, congratulations. I guess we know who's on your side.
Thank you.
And now, appropriately, science. It's all alphabetical, folks. Our nominees for the 2012 Podcast Award are the Astronomy Cast, Mysterious Universe, NASA Science Casts, Paracast, Radio Lab, Science Friday, Stuff to Blow Your Mind, Stuff You Should Know, The Naked Scientist, and The Skeptic's Guide to the Universe. And the winner is The Skeptic's Guide to the Universe. Yeah. We'll save that for him. Thank people and so forth. It's been a long day. Just a few more here. Sports is next. And the nominees are CBSSports.com Fantasy Football Podcast, the ESPN Fantasy Focus Podcast, the ESPN Fantasy Focus Football, oh my God, the ESPN Fantasy Focus Baseball, Football, Underground, and Today. You don't mind if I shorten it. It's okay. Quite a few ESPN shows in there. Are you with ESPN? No, so you're really giving me permission is silly. Because you don't actually. And ESPN Football Today. Golf Smarter, Locked on Jazz. He's going, no, it's fine. Go right ahead. Marek versus Wyszynski. Is that right? Wyszynski, yeah. Scarborough County. Why is the sports stuff so hard to pronounce? Scarborough Country. And Houday Weekly. Houday. And the winner is ESPN Fantasy Focus Football. Here it comes. The odds were in your favor, however.
Thanks. I'm Matthew Barry. I'm one of the co-hosts. This is Jay Soderberg, our producer, Pod Vader. For those of you fans, we always tell our listeners, we always say, look, we don't care if you listen. We just want you to click. We just want you to download it. Apparently, a couple people actually listen. This is our fourth award. We continue to be amazed that anyone lets us do the show, let alone award us for it. So we're thrilled, unbelievably grateful that ESPN pays us to do goofy nonsense and give a little fantasy advice. Thank you to everyone at ESPN in terms of and ESPN Radio Management and the fantasy department. Our co-host Nate Ravitz couldn't be here, but he celebrates this.
He's a weasel.
He is a weasel. Jay was supposed to wear a monkey suit to accept this award.
I'm wearing a hypothetical monkey suit.
But another podcast too. Do you have anything else you want to say, my friend?
Obviously, thanks to our families, my wife, mom, dad. Hi.
My wife is there. And I also want to say thank you, Todd, for your continued support of the podcasting industry. Podcasting, very important. Jay started the podcasting department at ESPN a number of years ago, well before we put any resources into it. It was just him in the studio.
We were like a year behind you guys. Sorry.
And all the other ESPN podcasts that you saw up there, Jay also produces. So he does a great job for us. And thank you to NMX. And Leo, thank you to you. I think you do a great job, and I appreciate your support of the industry as a whole. Right? Thank you, everyone.
Moving to tech. Yeah. Not on there. And the nominees are Build and Analyze, F5 Live. Yeah! Google at a Glance, Podcasher. Yeah, Ruby Rogues. Yeah, Stolen Droids Podcast, Tech Stuff, The Audacity to Podcast. This is only a test, and your website engineer. You're all great, but the winner is The Audacity to Podcast. Somebody's doing a podcast about Audacity.
Wow. You know, Leo, you were my inspiration in starting the podcast.
So I won this award in a way.
Yes, but all except the The Audacity to Podcast is really about the guts that it takes to podcast. And I started it focusing on Audacity, since that's what many podcasters use, since we're totally broke and can't afford anything else. But now it's all about how to podcast, how to use Audacity, how to use audio editing software, WordPress stuff. But I want you guys to succeed as podcasters. I want you guys to win awards too. So that's what my podcast is about, is to get you guys to make fantastic podcasts, to win awards. And I'm just blown away. I did not expect this podcast to win. I wanted one of my others to win. But thank you so much for the votes, and thank you. And I hope all of you will succeed in your podcast as well. And I want to give huge thanks to my wife, because the Audacity to Podcast, real quick, the Audacity to Podcast enabled me to leave my regular full-time job to go pursue self-employment. And my wife has been super supportive of me in that. We've been married for over 2 years. And so thank you, Jenny, sitting in front.
And travel. Our nominees are the Amateur Traveler, Be Our Guest Podcast, CoasterRadio.com, Disney Parks Podcast, Mouse Chat, Mousetalgia, the Season Pass Podcast, WED Neste Show, is that how you say it, or Wednesday Show? WDW Radio and Wedway Radio, and the winner is WDW Radio.
Stand on. Real quick, I've been podcasting since 2005. I come from a long line of podcasters. My grandfather was a podcaster. My father was a podcaster. So I'm sure they would be very proud. Really, this award, which I'm incredibly humbled and grateful for, is meant for the people who watch and listen for the last so many years. This is for you. It is all about community. They are not fans. They are not listeners. They are my friends and part of my extended family, and for that I am truly grateful, as well as to you, Todd, for you and your team putting this on. Everybody at NMX, all of you, thanks to you, Leo, and to my wife, the fire under the machine. I would not be doing this full time if it wasn't for you, so thanks.
All right. First, we're going to start with Best Produced Podcast. And these are the nominees for Best Produced. The Best of the Left, Caustic Soda, Dubious Intent, Gamer Tag Radio, Geek Smack by Geekazine, Livelihood Show, Podcasher, Polycast, The Fringe Podcast, and The Tribe. And the winner is the Best of the Left Podcast.
Excellent. Thank you very much. So easily the most important thing to say about my show is that I am the host and the producer, but I am by no means the star. My show is a compilation show where I bring together the best political shows that I like. And two have actually already won tonight, The Young Turks and The Majority Report. So I really have to thank everyone who allows me to use their content to make my show, because I started my show to support the good works of others. And so I've happened to have done well myself because people appreciate that I'm bringing great content to them, not so much that people have any interest in what I have to say. So I'm one of those interesting podcasters who started their show not thinking that what I had to say was very important. So thanks to everyone who voted and to everyone who supports the show.
And our last award is the People's Choice Awards. And I think I've won this a couple of times. This is a really, I could speak for all of these guys, such a great honor to get nominated for it. It really is a good feeling, isn't it, to know that the people who listen to your show care so much that they all voted for you. So congratulations to all the nominees. ESPN Fantasy Focus Football, Internet Box, Manager's Tools, Rooster Teeth Podcast, Smart Passive Income, Pat Flynn, The Comedy Button, The Disciplined Investor, and The Majority Report. And the 2012 People's Choice Podcast People's Choice Award goes to ESPN Fantasy Focus Football.
know, when they give away the best movie, the producer accepts the award, not the star.
Yes, that's true.
So this one's mine.
He's supposed to be dressed as the giant monkey. I just want to. He lost a bet. He's not paying that up. I just want to point that out.
I lost that bet like 5 years ago too, which is the worst part about it, I suppose. Next year, I'll wear a monkey suit. Why not? I mean, this is awesome. Our listeners are great. I know a lot of you out there looking at us and like, you've got the 4 letters supporting you, but we really appreciate everything that you guys do. I listen to a ton of the podcasts that have already won awards tonight. I mean, podcasting is my life. I know it's made a huge impact on Matthew's life.
It's the favorite thing I do. I get to do a lot of things at ESPN. The best part of my day is the daily podcast we do in the morning. No question.
So, you know, we've already thanked everybody. We can't thank everybody enough. ESPN, you may not see this one in the office. This may stay at my house.
Everyone in here, we're so thrilled. Like when you were reading the nominees, Leo, I was just like, holy crap, look at all these people who are actually in the same breath as. So I'm amazed and shocked, and we definitely didn't prepare a speech, obviously, but as African-American women, this is very important. So, great joke. Sorry. Anyway, thank you very much. Thank you to the wise and sage like Mark Ryan, who when people are like, really? They're doing this? Mark was like, we think we have something, leave them alone, and allowed us to do it. So thank you to him.
Thank you, Mark.
That's all the awards. Make sure you listen to podcasts. More importantly, make sure you tell everybody you know to listen to podcasts, because it really is, as you can see, the most vital, exciting, creative form of media out there. There is really such great stuff out there. People work so hard, and this stuff deserves to be heard more broadly, and we need to all do that job. And I thank Todd, because really you've done a great yeoman effort over the last 8 years to keep this alive. And this is great, the best podcast awards ever. So thank you, Todd Cochran. Thank you, Megan. Todd, do you want to come up and thank the team and the audience, and thank you all for being here? And I have some news about a party after this.
I guess first and foremost, give Leo a round of applause. I have to say, Leo, when you were building the new studio, I was sitting in my house drooling in envy.
So was I.
Well,
not with envy, I was just drooling.
Yeah. If you haven't seen his studio, it's simply incredible. I'm sure you have. And if you haven't, make sure you watch Twit. Go over to twit.tv. They do amazing work over there. So again, Leo, thanks for coming. I know you're a busy man, so appreciate you coming out for the awards. You know, really, and of course, I'm the big spoiler tonight with a clicker, right? So I'll see if I can click and not spoil anything more. I don't think there is anything else. That's why it's a blank page. So here's, really I want to thank New Media Expo very much for hosting this, and I want to thank all of you for taking out of your schedule. And by the way, Brian, no one's throwing a camera at me tonight.
Well, oh yeah, right. Or spit on you or anything like that.
That's right. So that's an insider joke. So, but in all honesty, many of these shows that won narrowly, and I'm often asked by those that didn't win, where did I fall out? And we just don't do that. We don't tell anyone where they fell out. We even don't tell someone why they weren't nominated, because we want to build goodwill, and that was what this show and what this award was all about, was building goodwill amongst podcasters. And in my opinion, everyone's a winner. All 5,000 shows plus shows that were nominated, just to get your fans to say, "Hey, I like this show," is really important, and that's what this thing's all about. So congratulate the winners, and everyone have fun here at New Media Expo. And just as a personal plug, if you like electronics, we're going to be on live the next 3 days at tpn.tv. So I had to throw that out there, Leo. So we're going over to CES and doing a show over there. But thanks everyone for attending. And hey, there's a great party tonight, right?
I have no idea. This just says that on the list.
Well, Rick told me I need to say tell you.
You're invited to the party. Hey, let me ask you one thing, though. You're going to do this again next year?
Yeah.
Rick's going to do this again? NMX, we're going to do this again. You're committing? Yeah. When are the nominations open? Because I don't want to miss it this time.
We announced like 6 weeks before, so I think your audience was sleeping.
Yeah.
I think we're going to open, to make the awards, get the trophies, and I think we're going to open nominations October 1st, I think.
Make a note of that, okay?
Yeah.
I'd like to pledge $100 in donation. And I'd like to challenge everybody else here to pledge some money.
That's a good point. Yeah.
And really, all we got to raise is about $3,500 to $4,000 a year. That covers the complete bill. So get your wallets out next year.
I'll get you halfway there, and then if you get matches, we'll cover that whole thing. All right? So we'll put down half. What is that? $1,750. Yeah. I'll write you a check tonight. But only if you get the other $1,750 in the next same month. How about that?
That's worth
Get everybody in here. Hurry up. We'll do an action.
And all you got to do, we'll put the PayPal link on the Podcast Awards website. I tell you what, and here's the deal. The first one that gives the cash, you get your logo at the top of the page. So rush.
I think I won.
You did.
And all of you watching at home, you can do that too. What's the website address? podcastawards.com.
And it's a minimum of $2.50 to become a sponsor.
$2.50?
$250.
Thank you, everybody. Where is the party, Rick?
Right next door.
Oh, well, that's easy. And when does it start?
Right now.
Right now. Get next door. We're all tied. Have a great night. We'll see you later.
Good job. I think so. That was fun. I'm so glad.